Thai government has told the protesters who've taken over the centre of Bangkok that they have until Monday afternoon to remove old people, women and children and anyone else who wants to leave their camp. Troops with high-velocity rifles outside the barricades have been firing live rounds at people near the camp, but a plan to impose an overnight curfew has been reversed. More than 20 people, all of them civilians, have been killed since the clashes broke out on Thursday.
Thai troops were brought into the city centre to seal off the protesters' camp. The government says their efforts are working. The number of demonstrators inside the cordon is falling. Some families have been here for weeks. Now there are signs they're beginning to leave. Here at the protesters' camp inside the barricades, there are fewer people than there were before this crackdown started. But those left remain defiant.
We protesters cannot step back because many people have died. The government and the Prime Minister are distorting the news. We are here and we know what the situation is like.
The Prime Minister, in his regular Sunday morning broadcast, announced further measures his government would take to try to restore order.
We're considering how to protect people not involved in the situation, or stop them from taking part in it, or becoming a victim.
And outside the cordon, protesters are still on the streets. Their leaders have asked their supporters to keep up the pressure on the authorities. The government appears to have abandoned its plans to impose a curfew. A military spokesman told the BBC now was not the time for it. Chris Hogg, BBC News, Bangkok.
Well, another of our correspondents in Bangkok has been inside the security cordon.
The anti-government protesters have been setting up barricades like this and setting tyres alight in different parts of the centre of Bangkok. The soldiers are trying to get control, but as they move into one area, so the protesters disperse and move somewhere else. That's why it's proving so hard for the security forces to get full control of this area. The demonstrators came to Bangkok 2 months ago demanding democracy. They wanted the current government to step down. But this has turned into something looking more like a rebellion now. And the problem for the government is how to get control and get control quickly, because the casualties are mounting. This has been going on for 3 days in terms of this violence. The protest has been going on for more than 2 months. The deep divisions go back years. There are really deep issues here. But this has got to be got under control before any of those issues can really be addressed.
Rachel Harvey in Bangkok. The Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva is in Tehran for talks about Iran's nuclear program. He's holding